This is an absolute thrill for us at CHGO Bears.
Go.
And just, I don't know, all of the youth of me and Kevin Kaduk who grew up watching the man who was in studio today. The two-time Super Bowl champion, MVP of the Super Bowl, the greatest singer on the Super Bowl Shuffle, which we may or may not get to. The Sackman, the Colonel, Richard Dent is in studio. Great to see you, Richard.
Guys? My pleasure. Nice to see you guys.
Welcome to CHGO.
You got a great setup here. I'm looking at this T-shirt here with your producer.
Oh, yeah.
What's up with that?
Oh, this is the QB slide.
QB slide.
The QB slide.
Come on,
we get you one.
Oh,
We're gonna hook you up. That's Justin going in the end zone against
Is it?
the
It's a
Niners.
quarterback.
yeah,
It's a quarterback.
I remember that. Yeah, everybody.
Well, we're going to talk a ton of fields, and we'll go back in the day.
Okay.
CHGO Bears Podcast Draft is presented by DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook. Download the app. Use that promo code CHGO when you sign up. We thought we would start sort of at the beginning, but maybe just take a peek at the 83 draft.
Right,
40th anniversary.
40th anniversary.
Gosh, is that 40 years already?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh, that's
Best draft class ever.
and they still looking for the same guys, huh?
Do you know how many Hall of Famers were in that class?
I don't know the number, but I know it's quite a few. I think it's like 8 or 10, is it?
8 is correct. Seven in the first round, and then a guy that was drafted in the 8th round, number 203 overall.
Right. I was trying to wonder, is anyone else, any other class has that stat, or we don't know yet? I know they say that we are one of the best classes that come out, especially with quarterbacks and folks like that.
Well, it's not only one of the best NFL draft classes, but from a team standpoint, 7 starters from the 1985 team were drafted with you. What do you remember from that day? Obviously, wasn't like it is now. There wasn't a lot of coverage, but how did you find out that the Bears had drafted you?
Well, I mean, I didn't know. I mean, really, I coming from Tennessee State and looking at how things went about over the last 4 or 5 years when I was there. I kind of paid attention, watched. I saw a lot of guys didn't make it, wanted to find out why, then you get there and you kind of find out why, certain things that you can't do. But I was small. Everybody said I was too small and this and that. And so I'm like, wanted to play tight end and really, but my college, when I got there, the college says, hey, coach, we didn't ask for this guy. So then I'm there with 3 other buddies. My coach hugged Joe Gillum and said, good luck, coach, and walked away. So, I mean, you're sitting somewhere, and next thing you know, you're like, damn, these folks, they don't even want me. I'm like, well, they don't want me, and now they want to make me an offensive tackle. I'm like, I'm 95 pounds. Who the hell I'm going to push around, right? I'm like, that is.
You were 190 pounds reporting to Tennessee State, right?
Reporting to Tennessee State.
And how tall?
I was about 6'4", 6'5" at that point. I was about 6'4 and a half, 6'5".
And then coming into the draft, you were only 215 pounds.
When I came in the draft, when I got to Chicago, I was 228, somewhere like that. And over 4 years, I picked up about 20 pounds. I got up to about 240. I wanted to stay about 240, 250. Then after I got older, it got up to about 260, 63. Like to try to come to camp, try to pick, and you're going to pick on weight. I mean, you're going to pick up weight, I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. It's your choice if it's going to be fat or muscle. Chicago going to put weight on you. Regardless, I don't care what athlete, especially outside. With that whether it's you determine is it going to be fat or if it's going to be muscle, because we don't train the same as we do in college as we do in the pros. So the training mechanism is cut down as of conditioning. The part that is important is training for what they want you to do and what we're going to do. But you have to, like they say, you have to come to camp in shape to get in football shape.
Yeah.
But you can't come to camp to get in shape.
So Bill Tobin said that he really liked your quickness coming out. Like when you got to Chicago, like how did that go? What did they say? This is what you're going to be doing, and.
Well, when I got there, I remember meeting Singletary. He was on the phone, and I'm looking at him, and he's like, "What position you play?" I'm a linebacker. She looked like a fullback, man. So he looked at me strange. I looked at him strange. So nobody, when you know what you know, I think coming out of Tennessee State with Joe Gilliam Sr. taught me football, taught me the respect of football. So I was ready to play, but yet you got to understand, you come into a team where you got Otis Wilson first rounder, you got Mike Singletary first rounder, you got Dan Hampton the first rounder, you got Mike Hartenstein the first rounder, right? So the defense, and then you got Wilbur Marshall a first rounder. Then you come and get William Perry a first rounder, and you got Al Harris a first rounder. So they first rounder all up and down the board. So the key in what I recognize in sports, coming to sports, that where we spend money, we give chances first. Period. Because once I pick you, you got to go out there and make me look good. Now, I'm a 7-rounder, so I'm not going to make them look good. So to me, the Bears was like, they trying to do something to fulfill the ownership in the guy that they picked 7th round that turned out to be gold. Then just respected it and said what you say. They said things, his teeth was bad. Yeah, my teeth was bad, but that wasn't stopping me from, being a great athlete. That my weight, situation as being able, to me, I think it's important to be able to eat right, and certain things, I couldn't bite on, and I still can't bite them on today. So the point of it is that, we went through some issues, by testing and all kind of things to for whatever reason, to knock a black player from a black school down so you can have ownership to bring him back up. No, you're not taking me down.
Yeah.
I'm high cotton. I'm staying high cotton out of the gate. So that's how I looked at that. But, at some point I started, I knew that I was better than what I was looking at, Al Harris and the guys that were playing in front of me. But, again, like in college, I had to show the guys in college I do not belong on offense. So when I got on offense as a offensive player, I got on the dummy squad. Mm-hmm. So look, we can talk about this shit, but let me show you. So I was over there. I was on offense for a whole year, showing them that I don't belong over here, raising hell, and finally they realized and said, "Hey, go to defense." When I went to defense, everything took off.
Well, I'm just looking at the stats right now, and as you're talking, I didn't realize this, but you started 3 games as a rookie, played in 16, started 10 your second year when you're, exploding 17.5 sacks.
Well, 10, think about that. 10, I didn't have but 1 sack when I started. So, here it is, 16 sacks in 10 games. You tell me somebody's giving you those numbers or giving you 10 sacks in 3 games. Go ahead.
Well, and I'm pointing out that you had to get Buddy to finally see you for what you were. How did you do that?
Just stand in his ear on the sideline, stand in his ear. Hey, let's go nickel. Let's go now. Let's go now. Let's go now. It's 2nd and 10 or 2nd and 15. Let me go. Let me go. So Buddy, he would yell at me, and then I'd walk away. Then I come right back in that ear, in that ear, in that ear, in that ear. Until the St. Louis game, my second year, they finally started me, And at some point, I realized that they was going to give Al more of a chance than they would give me. Because he had been here, he's first rounder, they got money in him. So they want to get their money out. They want to give that opportunity. Every team looks this way. Still today, every team. If I draft a guy, that's my money guy. We don't want to bring somebody in to compete with that. Whereas you just looking to win, and you just put talent together and say, hey, whatever works, whatever meshes out.
So it wouldn't have mattered in the end because your talent was starting to shine. But so Al and
it's going to shine anywhere, but go ahead.
Yeah, but I was saying, but Al sitting out with a contract holdout after 84, maybe maybe that impacted you a little bit.
That hurt him. It didn't hurt me. I mean, to me, the second year, I finally start. We kick off. We start playing ball. The team starts doing well. And to me, I felt I was the second man on the team. Only one man on the team was higher than me, and that's that man right there. Walter Payton. Outside of that, I didn't. There's no disrespect to the guys on the team, but to me, when I was negotiating for a contract, I'm like, hey, this guy making $1.2 million, I'm right behind him.
Right.
Bears thought it was Mac Man. I said, really? Good Lord. Mac is not doing this.
Yeah. That actually opens up a real interesting can of worms right there.
Go ahead.
Because we started with 83, so, and you went up against a Hall of Famer every day in practice, and Jimbo Covert. I know you got a ton of respect for him. Yep. But after Jimbo was picked, was Jim Kelly, Hall of Famer, Dan Marino, Hall of Famer, and then we just throw in, like, if McMahon was healthy, if you had a healthy quarterback, and
we've been sitting up here 4 or 5 rings. We probably won 3 in a row without a doubt. We've been first team and won 3 in a row. I mean, you got to look at it. I mean, in college, I lost 5 games in 5 years. So, won 3 national championships. Steve Moore also was an offensive tackle who went 3rd round. No one yet has went 3rd round, a black football player, offensive line out of black college into the NFL since Steve Moore in 83. And Steve Moore was the one that started the fight. Well, a fight started with Howie Long and Steve at the Patriots game when the Patriots beat them and end up beating Miami, end up playing us.
Right.
They call him House, so, but yet, here's a guy kind of like Jimbo, to me, helped me to be, what I became. Because I had that guy in college, and I had that guy in the pros with Jimbo.
Did it bother you how McMahon didn't take care of his body?
No, some people just injury-prone things, whatever, little things, some people just like that. I don't think he's injury-prone, but yet if he's not, he would do until injury-prone get there, right? But yet, it's not about Mac's fault, it's more so Dick's fault or Vinici or the general manager's fault because, again, having a quarterback, having backup quarterback, I mean, we had many different crates. I mean, we bought Flutie in. Was Flutie, really? If I'm on the bench and you bring a man in off the street that just got here the last 2 games of the season, and you're going to tell me he's better than me? He knows the system better. Hell, I might as well just get off the team.
What was the locker room like when Flutie was brought in?
It wasn't nice.
Yeah,
it wasn't nice. You see, I'm still pissed off about it.
Yeah, I mean, you've made headlines saying that. Yeah.
It was my youth. It was my time. It was our time. It was our youthful time. And to me, we could have won this thing with Tomczak. We could have won the shit with Tomczak. We didn't need Doug Flutie. That's Ditka and the general manager. Maybe I think that wanted to feel like, hey, with the defense, I can bring anybody, And I can remember Darryl Green said, shit, I'm just going to back up. Guy can't see over the line.
Yeah.
He can't audible. So what you're saying is you're making the Super Bowl trophy Mike Dicker's trophy now, right? When you do something like that, to me, it's just being really that you believe that so much in your defense that you could bring anybody, And we had a couple of people on the bench there we could have went with. Why we didn't go with it? We didn't manage that position well. Even though we had a great defense, we had a great running game. They kind of pushed Walter out. Yeah, I mean Neil Anderson. We probably could have got one more year out of Walter, but they wanted to get Neil Anderson playing.
How much does it stick with you 40 years later that you only won the one title. Does it still bother you?
No, it bothers you in a way, but you won it like nobody else have won it.
Right.
Exactly.
And that is the key that, we started winning it the second, third game because we came out with a record, we came out with attitude. Mm-hmm. But we got our butt kicked the year before. And on that trip coming back from San Francisco, we got on the plane in the back and said, look, let's everybody go do what you need to do in the off season. We're going to come back. We're going to kick everybody's ass. We didn't say we're going to be undefeated. Mm-hmm. We just said, look, be ready.
Yeah.
We're cleaning the house. So, have your crap ready when you come back to camp next year.
If you were going to give credit to just one guy on that defense that helped you be that much better, and I'm sure you would have done it, whoever was there, but like who stood out as like this guy made my life easier?
William Perry.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Well, you got to understand, me and William on one side.
Yeah.
So if I can get, the key is any athlete, it's all about how can you make them better and how they can make you better. If you on a team as a player and if I can't make you better and you better, then how am I going to get better?
Right.
Right? So anytime a team competes with one another, only person who loses is the team. So we competed with one another. We enjoyed things, but William, it was to let him know that, look, we're going to own this side. We're going to dominate. We're going to tell people they can't run over here. You can't run outside. You can't run inside. We're going to dictate to tell you what you can and can't do over here. I'm going to do that regardless. Now, if I can get him on board with me, it's over.
Yeah.
It's over. So, my thing, look, William, we on the hash. Run to the numbers. Well, how far is the hash to the numbers? 10, 15 yards maybe?
Right.
If it goes outside that number, don't worry about it. I got it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the way we play. And I'm like, look, everything that's coming is going to be blocked down, going this way, reaching, whatever. So you got to double him. If you don't double me, it's not going to work. You got to double me. If you double me, then now that's 4 against 2. We got 2-3 linebackers scraping. It's a math game. You can't block everybody.
Right.
You got to double people up front. Singletary, he came to a privilege of somewhere of Steve McMichael and Hampton and Fritz. That middle right there, you're going to take
crazy.
3 to 4 people got to block that. Okay,
Right.
If you put 4 there, then everybody's open. If you're blocking 3, somebody's open.
Yeah.
But you're not going to one-on-one block all of us and think you're going to get somewhere. So if you one-on-one us, then the tackles, the people on the line of scrimmage going to make the play. If not, the linebackers going to make the play because you can't get to them. So, but William, it was just to look. At that point he was, he was running the ball, doing this, doing that. Hampton was about to go out, so I wanted to get him in to get the feel because I know Dan was doing his thing, but William became to be that every down player, that you can count on. Hampton, he was there or not. Sometimes he's hurt. They're kind of saying like McMahon, you're having problems there, but, that's their thing. But when they're there, they're great. If they're not, then, you just have to deal with that.
13 knee surgeries.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
if we're talking post-85,
Right.
he wasn't out there nearly as much. Mongo should be in the Hall of Fame, should he not?
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. I think Steve, and not to say that Dan doesn't, but, I think when you look at Steve's numbers, it's more than Hampton. A guy that he played as much as Walter, I think record-wise. I think he breaks that record. It's guys that you realize that's going to be. Steve is there all the time. Hampton was hurt and they're not, but again, there go again. Hampton is a first-round pick of the Bears. Steve is not a first-round pick of the Bears. So the Bears are not really interested in promoting him that way. That's how the shit flows, folks. Sorry about
Somehow, though, like the I don't know, like the experts of the game looked at that defense and they missed something in what Mongo was doing.
Well, you can look at it how you want to. You can't play the game without people up front, okay? You look at the Cowboys. Cowboys, Emmitt Smith gets the record.
Sure.
Who was there before Allen came along?
Who?
When you look at that offensive line, okay?
Sure.
Eric. So
he had the world in front of him.
No, well, I'm just saying, Nate Newton,
Yeah.
okay,
Yep.
should be there. Here's a guy again,
Yeah.
and Eric Williams. Nate Newton, Eric Williams open up holes like these chairs could get through. Okay?
Yeah.
Larry Allen comes in. They done put Larry Allen in the Hall of Fame, but they did not put who? These two guys, they was there before Eric, but before Allen. Why? Because here's one guy from a small black school, here's another guy from a small black school that happened to go to jail for some drugs and shit. But hell, he didn't do no more than what? Michael Irvin?
Right.
Yeah. Come on. I mean, I'm just saying, to me, they disrespecting that situation. It's just like for Walter. Walter, people say Walter got many yards. Nobody want to give no respect to the offensive line. Mm-hmm. But hell, when my class came in, Walter, you tell me a running back that leads the league in his last 3 to 4 years in the league.
Right.
How did that happen? Bears had a hell of an offensive line, but you know what? We just now getting the Hall of Fame in. So to me, it's not as even as
you had to wait a long time too. The way the Pro Football Hall of Fame is set up, only 5 players get in. A lot of politics involved. Like, what would you change about that?
Get the media, get the press, get the writers out of it because they don't know nothing.
So
they don't know because they upset because maybe I didn't talk to them or maybe I didn't do this or maybe I do that.
Yeah, it's. I mean, the fact that
why see, this is the point. Here's a kid, Nate Newton. How in the hell Nate Newton not in the Hall of Fame when his guy that ran the ball?
Yeah.
Or I look at Miami Dolphins. How is Clayton? Miami don't have not one wide receiver in the Hall of Fame. Who caught all them damn passes from Miami?
Right.
How in the hell a guy throws 1,000,000 yards and nobody that caught the ball in the Hall of Fame with it?
Yep.
So he threw it, caught it too.
Devin Hester's still waiting for whatever reason.
Another point.
Yeah.
You got to change the game all the time. Deion, that was where Deion would change the game. When Deion played special team, you punt to him, you kick off to him, you got to kick it away.
Right.
And why are we still waiting on this kid?
To me, it's like
special team is that, but that's like a kicker or a punter. Okay?
Yeah.
Great guy, some guys who punt and are great. The kid is great.
Yeah.
Shit. It's just, what else? Look, the numbers ain't going to change. Like me. The numbers didn't change, okay? Mm-hmm. How are they going to change? What's there is what's there.
But so much of the process is set on a media member going into this meeting and really making a case for a player, which to me is silly because, okay, well, what if that media member from that city didn't get along with that person?
Well, it's a personal grudge. So
right.
It's a personal grudge. So it's a
flawed system.
It's all about what I can chop on you. Meaning what I call chop is make money. Okay? I'm only going to put somebody out there that we can chop on and make money with.
Yep.
If that person's not making money with us, let's find somebody else. To me, that their where it relies to me this Hall of Fame thing, and it's like the Hall of Fame is desperate getting people in there. I'm like, people that's going in there now is like, come on, really? I'm not gonna name any names, but to me, when the NFL needed the writers, they needed the writers back in those days to talk about the game, to give them some perspective in the game. Today, NFL do not need the writers. The writers need the show.
Yeah.
Okay? The script is flipped now. All right? The writers need to do their business, so they got to get to the players. But the league is still using the writers to promote the players, or I can understand promoting the game, but coming in and saying we know who the Hall of Famers should be. Mm-hmm. We have been there. We know. So why is it that the players, to me, is not there is a problem? To me, also within the Hall of Fame, when you have my brand, when you have 370 guys, and here the market is out here telling kids that, hey, we'll give you $1 million because you may be me one day, but I can't get the $1 million and I'm already there. What's wrong with that play? Something wrong with that. To me, I know that I could give my likeness to my kids and they can make me some money. But here is my likeness is with a group that is called the Hall of Fame, and shit, I'm not making any money. So why should I continue to allowing my name, my heritage, to go with that when I'm not benefiting? It's paying somebody's salary. It's doing something for the Hall of Fame. It's helping them. It's doing something. It's time for a change for that, to me. Okay, I just see it's a change. To me, if I'm married and I have a wife, I can pass something down to them, or my kids, or whatever. It's just like these kids now. That people giving them money to promote while they're in school. To me, they don't need the money. Give them a second scholarship where they can come back to school to take what they want to take. Okay, so I can't be a doctor playing football. But if you give me a scholarship to come back to be a doctor, that money never goes down. That money goes up. Or I can pass it down to my kid. Or I can pass it down to whoever I want to. Having a second degree is way more than putting some money in your pocket.
It could be both.
Don't mean to get on all that.
No,
but, something
it's
I want to
good.
put out.
I love everything you're doing, Richard. You keep the whatever's on your mind is awesome. Hey, just a reminder for everybody, get fitted out in the best sports gear around: hoodies, shoes, signs, bobbleheads, everything in between. Spring baseball season, Aloha shirts. Richard probably wears those. Straw hats, polos, bags, everything you need for a game. And by the way, our set decorations, Foco has donated a few awesome pieces. Thank you, Foco. Check out Foco.com or click on the link in the description below for all non-presale items. Use the promo code CHGO and you get yourself 10% off.
Also want to tell everyone about Fubo TV. Fubo has 140-plus live channels of sports shows, movies, and news. Stream live TV from any device. Watch the most Chicago sports for the lowest price, and you can start watching immediately with a 7-day free trial. No contract, no cable, no hassle. Just sign up and start watching from any device. 1,000 hours of cloud DVR storage is included at no extra charge. You can even watch your local teams while traveling. There's a lot of sporting events coming up, and Fubo is the best place to watch it. French Open, NHL Draft is coming up with Connor Bedard, NHL and NBA playoffs. NBA Finals are going to be on NBC.
Way to go, Nuggets.
Go DNVR Nuggets.
I'm watching myself here. You guys got me. All right.
Cubs and White Sox on Marquee and NBC. It's the only streaming service to offer that. F1, UFC, it's all there. Watch Cubs and Sox on Marquee, NBC Sports Chicago with Fubo TV. Use the link in the description to sign up today and get 15% off your first month of Fubo Pro.
There's a zillion ways we could go right now, but since we just did the Fubo read and we mentioned the NBA playoffs, and you, of course, have longtime friends with MJ.
Wait, hold on.
Yep.
This super chat that we got a little bit ago.
Oh, we got a super chat?
Perfect for you. We have more, but I'm just going to throw someone in here now. We'll do the rest later. But
Brian
says,
please cram, don't make this
don't
weird.
Make this weird. Yeah, I just thought I'd throw that out there before we get into this.
This is not going to be super weird. I'm on my we got Richard Dent in studio. I'm going to be on my
We've got number one
game.
MJ fan over here. So.
I'm a huge Mike fan,
well,
but like
this is true.
and I was my first Bears game ever was your third year. Tampa, it was like 80 degrees.
First game.
Yep, 38-28. Sat in the family section. My dad brought some sandwiches that we snuck in, or you were able to bring in back in the day. So, and I remember waking up Super Bowl morning. I know Kevin's got a Super Bowl story coming up for you. I'm like, there's absolutely no way you guys are losing. I know you felt the same way, right? I mean, there was just like we were the best team, and you knew it.
The third, that was the first game.
Yeah.
You know what was scored at halftime?
I don't remember the score at halftime.
I think it was like 20-0. Something like that at halftime.
Yeah.
If I'm correct. We had this thought of come back, when in the locker room at halftime. We was like, remember the conversation that we had coming from San Francisco on the plane. Here it is. I think we was 20 points or 18, whatever. We was down a couple touchdowns. Like, it was one worst teams in the league, got us down, so we had that callback. And that callback, we come back out at halftime. I tip the ball, and Leslie Frazier catch one, take it in for touchdown. Then we get something else happening. And before you know it, that's when the ball started rolling.
You were down 28-17 at the half.
Right, that's what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah,
28-7 at the half, and one of the worst team in the league that I think might have won 2 games that year, the year before. It was like, really? So, check yourself, and we came back and won that game.
Yeah, Leslie Frazier
started.
29-yard pick. You tipped it about?
Yes, that's my tip.
I love it. I see.
It's my tip.
So I remember that so that was that year Mike broke his foot and the Bulls were terrible and they were playing another terrible team, the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Bulls were drawing like 5,000 people. And this was the year after you guys won the Super Bowl. Y'all played at halftime at the Chicago Stadium, and they sold it out to see you guys play basketball.
That was fun.
So you were on that? You played that night?
Yes, I did. I played that night. But actually, Michael, his wife, who was girlfriend at that time, and a young lady that I was dating, kind of put us together. We came together, and this when his foot was hurt and didn't know exactly what he was wanting to do or what he was going to do. And, we just had a good conversation, out on a date with 2 ladies, and he was talking about the game. I was telling him about Walter. He was talking about he's going to come in and take over the city and do this and that. I said, well, he's going to take it from Walter. I said, hey, first, you can't take it from Walter. You need to take it from me first. You got to get in line, brother, Get him. You got to get this first, then you can get to him. I said, nobody like basketball here anyway. They might love you, but they don't love basketball. So, and he ended up turning the town out. He turned the town out, but we was drastically about entertaining our city. I was like, hey, you need to come and see this. If you want the city, follow this team right here. Follow this team. Watch. Let me show you what we're doing here. And he got the picture. He had his thoughts and his people to help him. And he came back that last game.
Yeah.
And put it on Boston. But,
63.
But it was so much talking trash between then and the time that he got back on the court. He's supposed to do what he's supposed to do.
So you're telling me that when Jordan was hurt and was sitting out and
we're giving him shit, shit all day long. Yeah, yes, of course.
And he was saying at that time that he was going to take the city from Walter.
Well, this was before he even got to that game.
Yeah.
This was just
he had that level of confidence of where he was going.
Level, what I'm gonna do. So okay. Well, I guess I'm gonna get me some flow seats, huh? Oh no, don't worry about it. You don't need. Just come and see me. Okay, buddy, I got you. I'll come and see you when I need tickets. But he took it from there. He took it and he ran with it. I mean, I brought him around the guys and, seeing how the city was reacting to the 85 Bears, it was like he got close-up view.
Yeah.
He got close-up view and, he turned the city out. Like I tell you, nobody cared. I mean, no one ever cared about basketball, but after that game there, seats went from, floor seats at that time, I could buy floor seats under $100. Floor seat popped up, the $200 popped up, the $400 popped up, the $700. It just kept popping, pop, 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 pop. Bulls made a whole heck of a lot of money.
Did he cover your seats or?
Oh, he covered my seats. For that thought, I never really. Well, I appreciate it all the time, but I never look at the thought. And he's always taking care of his buddy to the Hall of Fame. And the Hall of Fame, the tickets went from like $80 to like $300-400 when he went in.
Yeah.
So, and I'm walking this old place, and this place is kind of dingy place, but yet the seats are small. I'm like, oh shit, like a small theater, old theater. And I was like, oh, hell, I got to squeeze in. I look. I said, oh, my boy got me a handicap seat. Oh, great. Good room space on the end. I was like, oh, my boy took care of me. And that's when it's kind of everything, that's you start reflecting back in time as of seats and things that he always got his people sitting in certain places.
So you were at the Hall of Fame speech. Yeah. He's going at everybody.
Didn't go after me.
I thought it was great. I thought the speech was phenomenal.
Hey, you got to let it out. Don't need, if you holding something, it's not good. Let it out. I'm dating a girl, then she's still holding something 10 years ago. Like, really? I don't want to hear that. If you kept it for 10, keep it for another 10.
That's buried at that point. Let's go. Day of.
Right. Put it out there.
I mean, both of you guys were competitive athletes at the top of your field, and then one day you guys retire. Like, how do you keep fueling that after you stop playing?
You try to find something or, something that you enjoy doing, I enjoy golfing. Of course, he enjoyed golfing, but he enjoyed fishing more than golfing. I know he fished a little bit with his dad. Mike can't swim. I mean, Mike, he never been on a boat. I'm like, and now all of a sudden, that's all he does. I'm like, what marriage really does, huh?
Yeah.
I could never get this guy on a boat more or less close to water. And I can't believe the damnedest thing that he's doing on water. He's not getting in it.
The marlin fishing?
He's fishing like he's on crack. He's out there. He's gone. I mean, I'm like, I can't believe it. I went fishing with him a while ago, and that was the first time that I went with my father. And, if you notice in my speech, my Hall of Fame speech, and my dad was, and my brother, we was out fishing, and he didn't have his license or whatever it was at that time. This is like 67 in Covington, Georgia. And so the police officer said, Dad don't have the papers. Well, got to take you to jail. And he's like, nah, I got my sons. Can you? Well, we'll take them down and have somebody come and get them. I said, okay. And so the cop told him to follow him. And he followed him into a turn, and my dad went right on him. He went right on him, and obviously he came back a few days later, but I was like, oh, hell no, we're not going in jail. I'm not sitting in Covington. Who knows what may happen? Ku Klux Klan, who knows what? So, in my speech, I told my dad, I'm glad he made that turn because me and my brother, we may not be here today if that would have took place. But that was one of the first times that I fished. I used to fish all the time, cut to me, smelling like fish, cleaning fish. I used to do it all the time. And now at that time when, and I caught the first catch that day. And, I don't want to touch them anymore, but I don't mind fishing, but I don't like touching and cleaning because I did it so much in my lifetime.
There's a question in the chat. Who won more money golfing versus each other? It's from Braggs.
It's hard to beat the bank, Rex. Okay? The bank give you opportunity to try to break it. Who breaks the bank? Not many people breaks the bank. Of course, Mike will allow you to make money to gamble that money back, to get your money, to get the money they gave you, get it back. Just keep you in the game. That's a real friend.
I was reading up on some of your idols, and you mentioned MLK, Henry Aaron, Muhammad Ali were some of your guys.
Claude Humphrey, to me, I had a game, I enjoyed Muhammad Ali because Muhammad Ali spoke the game and backed up the game.
Yeah.
And yet, all the things that he went through, obviously where the government didn't allow him to fight, and at that time growing up, not really knowing, I'm from a family of 7 boys and 1 girl. I'm number 6 out of 9. One of the first ones that finished high school, one of the first ones to go to college, so I had a chance to look and see what good and bad had took place and where could I, find something good in my home to do. And everybody have that opportunity. Sometimes people, if you can't find something in the house, you got to look outside the house. But take what's in the house. Like my father was an alcoholic. Our birthday was the same. That was something that I didn't want to be. But if I didn't see it, hell, I would never know, right? I mean, that I have to go through it through my life. Good or bad, you find something in the house. Take advantage of it, look at it, and make a determine. Is that good? Is that bad for you? Is it good and bad for the person? Good and bad at what's going on? That allows you the opportunity to say, hey, you know, I learned something, it's good or bad, but yet I learned it in the home. But trying to learn it outside the house, that's where you or learn it in social media. Look around your people. Look around your father, brother, sister. Somebody's there for you to suck some data, information out of. But sometimes we look too far. It's right there on your nose. Look there. Good or bad, it's helpful.
You came from a very interesting time in the country just growing up.
And mine say to that, you know, I'm in the energy business, but why I got an energy business was that sometimes, you know, our lights wasn't on, our power, energy. I remember my grandfather having coal put in his oven to keep the house warm. To me, you know, I look down the street, other lights like, what is this? What's this about? Why, what? But, you know, and after I was finishing football, I was down in Florida. I was about to go to racing school. I wanted to do drag racing. And I had an opportunity to meet, you know, a guy, and we started talking about energy and this and that and phone company. And so, you know, I got in with a company called First Energy. We brought in a phone company here, reselling their service, reselling SPC services, and invested with them and learned the utility business. And now I've kind of been in the utility business since '99. You know, so I supply, I do power, I sell power. ComEd distribute the power, and I'm the person that sells you the power.
ComEd's one of our fine sponsors here too. So like
right.
you set them up basically.
Well, ComEd, see, what folks don't know, ComEd is there to serve the people. The poles that you see on the street is your poles. It's the taxpayer poles, right? We have the right to touch those poles. You can get in this business if you want to. I mean, throughout the state of Illinois spends $13.2 billion in just electricity. ComEd's going to get a little bit, almost half of that. Why? Because they send the power to you, okay? But there's another $7-8 billion out there for people who consume the power. You have to have power if you're going to be on this planet. You don't have to buy it from me. You have to buy it from somebody. I would like for you to buy it from me and ComEd deliver it to you. That's the game. So everybody have the rights. Those poles are on government property, your property to serve you. Okay? Most folks don't know about that, about the utility game. And it's sad to say, I believe I'm the only minority in this country that sell electricity in 13 states that the market is open. Gas is open in 48. So, you know, people of color, this is the best annuity business that you want. Dusty Baker got in the business. You can hear Dusty say, hey, you can never take your robe off. You know, Dusty's still drinking coffee, doing business. But yet it's a business that you have to pay. You know, everybody really don't, I'm not going to say don't respect, they just pay your utility bill because you assume it's something like, boom, I don't really know anything about it. It's kind of like long distance back in the day when you had 312-77. Oh, that's a long distance call. Yeah, but it's still in the state. Yeah, but that's how it's set up. Folks didn't understand that. So, you know,
yeah.
It's a game out there. And when I say a game of servicing people. If you're on the planet, you're here to serve people. If it's crack or whatever it is, you servicing people. Serve people in a good way. You know, like my mom always taught me, you know, we all are God's children. How you get to heaven is how you treat and how you serve those people. So you can't be on this planet without serving. If you're not serving nobody, that means you're not no good, period.
That's a good lesson from Mom right there.
Yeah.
So it feels like in your post-career life, you have found a lot of different things to really fulfill yourself.
Well, I was entrepreneur as a kid. That's what I'm saying. You know, before I left high school, I had already worked at all the fast food places, Morrison Cafeteria. You know, my mom was a cook. My father thought, you know, he had the next Jackson 5. You know, we used to have talent shows in our backyard. You know, so to me, I was the largest one in the house, so the pass down stuff did not work for me.
Mm-hmm.
So
you don't want hand-me-downs.
Hand-me-downs not fit, and we can't go buy nothing. So I had to get on the stretch there, cutting grass. I just, I'm looking at, I say, if a woman can work like this, then I'm a man. I should be able to do more than her. My father, how he worked all the time. So, buffing floors, working. I'm like, hey, they're giving me good pictures. And then I look at my brothers, some of them doing good, most of them doing bad. I'm like, well, shit, something here, I got to at least make my mom feel one of her boys came out well. That's what it was all about. When I sent my mother to the Pro Bowl, that was her first flight ever. Right?
Wow.
And to me, she thought I said, no, Mom, you don't walk upstairs. You just walk right on, It's just so, for her, I would have came back to Chicago for the Super Bowl parade, which I wish I should have. Mm-hmm. But yet, when your mom taking her first flight from Atlanta is going to meet you in Hawaii, it's too much.
And make sure she got there.
There you go.
Understandable.
You want to tell your Super Bowl story?
Who's that?
I could, yeah.
I feel like this is an important little thing that Kevin wanted to bring to the table, just some history.
I like. There's one picture of me watching a Super Bowl. I was 6 years old, Richard.
Is that right?
Yeah. There's me.
You
And I wanted to point out also in the photo, too, are my Aunt Pat and Uncle Chuck, who are the biggest Bears fans in the world. And my Aunt Pat, who you can't see her face because she's got the homemade pom-pom there.
I see that.
She might be the only toughest person. She might be the only person I know that's tougher than 85 Chicago Bears. So I wanted to give a shout-out to my Aunt Pat.
All right. Thank you.
That's good. That's good anting right there.
Thank you.
And look, you were ready.
I was ready.
Yeah,
I was only 6.
Yeah.
38 years ago. 38 years ago.
Yeah, that was, one, I was, my agent, started this thing when the first playoff game. And he had been saying it all year because we were negotiating.
Right.
This time we were negotiating. So, at that time I was making $90,000, right? And I had made All-Pro the year before, and I'm like, I'm not coming to camp until y'all at least do something, give me a Lord to London, something, because I know you get hurt, because guys are running everywhere trying to make the team. And my second year, I become a Pro Bowler, and I'm like, I was really pissed off about the option year. And then I was pissed off with my agent that we signed a 2-year with an option. Who's the option for it? Is it me or that's right. Something you don't know. But at that time, I was really pissed off with it was Walt Frazier, my agent at that time.
Okay.
Yeah, he was a Georgia boy too, and he had just started.
NBA Walt Frazier?
That's right, walking away from basketball.
Okay.
So yeah, and I was a little ticked off, but I said, okay, well, we got to get something. We got to get something done. We ain't getting no money, but we got to get some kind of insurance or something. I can't just come back and, we got a great team. We could go to Super Bowl, but shit, I need to, get paid here. I need to figure out a way to get paid here. So, they did that part, put some insurance down for me. So I decided to come back to camp and go to work. And then they said they were negotiating good faith. So we negotiating all the season, going. And now I realized that, me and Jerry Vernisi, that it ain't going to happen. It was like black against white. He was telling me that, I'll never make money more than a quarterback. And I said, oh, this is like slavery. He said, well, call it what you want. I said, that's what it looks like. That's, so I realized that. So I said, okay, guys, we keep knocking on this door about, how much money, salary. I said, but they keep over here talking about incentive. They try to incentive me. I said, let's go over here and play with this. So we put it on the wall, start throwing things up there, and it starts sticking. Everything's sticking. I was like, hey, okay, we got something here. All right. Let's go and get them to agree to this. And they come back, my agent come back and say, okay, they agreed. I said, oh, okay. Tell them make it retroactive. Shit, they came in retroactive. I said, oh, okay, perfect. Good.
How did you know how to do this stuff? This is amazing that you, like a 22-year-old, I would have no idea what I'm doing.
Yeah, but
like
I said, I paid attention in the 5 years I was in college.
Okay.
Why these guys weren't sticking.
Okay.
Or what was sticking. And you don't know until you get there and you see
Right.
why they may not be sticking. Just by the mannerism and what, being expected upon you.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, you still got, again, I started working, in the 6th grade. I worked from 6th grade through the 12th grade. I didn't stop working until I left until 12th grade.
Right.
Okay, but I didn't play football till 11th and 12th grade.
Okay.
So once I got to middle school, I was going to play football. Then they cut it out. So I kept working. Then I got to high school and okay, hey, I'm still making money. I'm getting my own stuff. 9th grade, boom. 10th grade, same thing. 11th grade, yeah, maybe I want to look at this. But so they went retroactive, and now my agent's saying, okay, what else? What's next? I said nothing. Just don't call them no more. You're fine. And we signed that deal when we played in San Francisco the second year.
Wow.
My third year.
Third
year.
Okay.
When we unveiled Fridge. That's the day we signed that contract. When we was flying up there, I signed it, boom. And I remember my agent said, okay, they want to know what's next. I said, don't call them back. It's good. To me, I was like, hey, it was $1 million there in incentives. It was damn near $500,000 just Super Bowl MVP. So to me, I was like, hey, I'm going to work my guys. I'm going to make my guys better to make me money. And that's if that was helping Otis Wilson learn how to do something on the pass rush, and I'm telling him, look, I'm going to flush, you go wide. Or you flush, I go wide. You got to work together. You can't be just working, which I already knew, and he was bound to, to get to the quarterback. Him and Will, everyone who was trying to go, they were trying to go. And I'm like, hey, let me help you. All right? You flush him or get him. Either one, if you don't get him, I'm going to be wide to get him. But if we both going in there, shit, he may be anywhere.
Right.
So somebody got to be a safety net. Somebody got to go get the show done. So we was good in that as staying in our lanes and, talking to each other about that. So they called back. It's like, said they read. I said, hey, don't worry about it. They called back in. I said, look, they'll understand. Just don't call them no more. We got a deal. We don't have a deal on salary. You still trying to pay me a half or something like that. Really? Mac is at 8. I said, nah, that ain't going to work. But I tell you what, I'm going to show you right here. So that year, I did right at about $1 million in incentives. Then in the next year, I was like, keep those, and now let's go ahead and get to that number, right? So now you want to take all that back. Right?
All the incentives back.
You want to take it back and pay me what the incentives was giving me on salary. But see, sometimes you got to show people some shit to see it.
Right.
Then they can appreciate it. They can appreciate it at that time. They realize that you're not as ignorant as they thought you were.
Was the USFL ever an option? Did you use that as leverage or?
No, I didn't yet. Which they picked me first.
Yeah.
Philadelphia Stars. Mm-hmm. And that just was not in my dreams and my goals. I'm like, I've waited this long to wait 3 more months.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wait 3 more months. I'm just gonna wait the 3 more months.
Well, you ended up signing the richest Bears deal at the time that anybody had ever signed.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, the one that Max signed, that would have been nice, right?
well, I saw it in the comments earlier, like if you played today, you'd be a $20 million a year player, which is what you would be.
I don't know. It might be more than that. I mean, I'm trying to figure out. I don't know what to ask for, and I'm being honest. With what they got out there today, I'm like, shit.
It's crazy.
I can't get no less than Mahomes. Shit.
That's half a bill.
Shit, he did the same thing I did. 3rd year, he become Super Bowl MVP, win a Super Bowl. What's the difference?
$500 million.
He just touched the ball more than me. Shit, I'm going to get it at some point. I'm going to do my thing. To me, this game is, is they want to get the head out of the game. How can you get the head out of the game when it's the longest part on your body? Right? It's just, what needs to take place is go ahead, give guys insurance. Here you got a guy, the kid who got hurt last year in Buffalo.
Yep.
He gets hurt. Well, the commissioner saying he got him. Well, shit, it's 5,000 guys out here that you don't have. This kid is only 2 years in the league. He's not even vested.
Right.
So now I think now it takes 3 years to get in the league and 3 games to be insured, right? So now, but the league comes on and say, all right, we're going to insure this guy. Well, there's tons of guys out here got problems, got major problems, And to me, this is where I should have the right to go to work. If I can't go to work and find a job, then my job have to bear that burst. You have to bear that because it's in any corporation. Everybody at the league got insurance the rest of their life, but the damn players. This is just don't make any sense. Now you got gambling, you got all this crap coming into this game. It's amazing that here it is, guys. I got 12 months to file disability. Well, shit, I'm still thinking about playing.
Right.
In this state, that's what I have.
Right. So
now I got to go to California. California's closing out because California, anywhere you work, and you can file disability. Because all the places that we work, they take taxes out. Everywhere we go play games, they take taxes out. See, the hockey team started this many years ago, had kind of brought an open window about what's taking place with that. But as a player, so now I'm still thinking about playing. I'm not, just because I'm out 1 year, but now I can go back to play if I can go back, but I just lost my disability. It's a game here. This is some weird crap that's taking place, that have taken place.
Right.
When it comes down with this league and how you get service from the service that's been given. It's some real, crazy stuff that don't make any sense, but it's not in the corporate world. But corporate world is all in the NFL, but the NFL is not providing corporate status to the people.
Does it make you want to get more
game.
involved in the fight against that and get more rights for the players and
Well,
post-retirement?
I've already did that.
Yeah.
I did that with the painkiller. Mm-hmm. We made a change there. I've been suing about that for 11, 12 years now.
Yeah.
They used to give you, here, Richard, take this.
Well, just no one never gave you a consent to when you can't take anymore.
Uh-huh.
See, that's the thing. And now, today, the team get checked now. So we've made some stuff, but it's nothing been paid to the players that's been damaged. I know my gut is, I know my wall of my stomach, I know my esophagus swollen, it's hard for me to swallow certain things. It's things there that this league seems to be able to get away from because it got its strings around the world. This is the only game, this is the only business in the world that competes with prayer.
Yeah.
Sunday, if you working on Sunday, you competing with prayer. And to be the only business to compete with prayer is a world lively, strong business.
Church of football.
That's football. In football, it's a powerful source. Don't get me wrong. The business part of it. So the strings, where the string lies, it's all over the place. I get it. I've been there. Like Dr. King said, shit, I've been to the top. I've seen the mountaintop. I know what it's like. I know what's there. And I know it's fair. You know what I mean? Because, everything that I had a chance to accomplish, God had gave me an ability to see it. I didn't know nothing about the Hall of Fame. Ray Nitschke, I was on a cruise one day when I was holding out for the was holding out for money. I was on a cruise. We got on a cruise from Miami to South Carolina. Good Morning America was on that cruise, and Ray said, "Hey kid, if you keep playing like you're playing, maybe you'll be in the Hall of Fame." I said, "What's that?" He told me what it was. I said, "Oh, thank you, Mr. Niski."
There you go.
And there you go. And that's how they have we have the Ray Niski luncheon. But again, players we know. But to me, the business side of this thing is that, when I look in basketball, there's so many people of color that played the game, whatever's in the game. Not in football.
Not in football.
They just don't make any sense. I look at the offensive coordinator that coming out of Kansas City.
Eric Bieniemy,
Yeah, and now he goes over to Chico and still be the same thing. But we just had a guy here that came in here and called all kind of plays and shit. He didn't win no Super Bowl. He didn't win. He wasn't part of that, but he's back there working again. I mean, it's amazing how we deal with things with the white guys and the black guys when it comes down to football. And the black guys are more people that has 80% of the players that plays.
Yes, Matt Nagy. He's talking about you in the chat.
Yes, Matt Nagy. That would be true.
That's exactly.
Yeah, and I'm just saying. Here's a guy. This guy done won 2 championships. He can't get a head coaching job, but Nagy didn't win one. He was part of losing one, and he comes here and called everything. Never called the same thing a couple of times. Went a couple of times. Hell, it was running. Why are you trying to call? Everybody looking? Oh, he called every kind of pass here. If I'm playing a coach like that, I just get 2 steps in the backfield, look left, look right, play could be coming back. Because it's just that it was throw up ball. It was like a carnival.
Exactly what it was. Thanks, Nagy. Hey,
okay.
Couple quick mentions. Then we got one more question for Richard,
Sure.
and we'll wrap it up here. Take on the sun with the gear built to last. Our friends at Shady Rays have you covered for the warm weather ahead with the premium polarized shades at the affordable price. Shady Rays is an independent sunglasses company that offers the world-class product. And, of course, they do have the best insane protection plan in all of eyewear. Every pair of sunglasses, you like this, Richard, it's backed by their lost and broken replacements. You lose it, you break it, even on day one. They are going to hook you up with a brand new pair. No questions asked. You don't like your pair when you order, then look, you can return it within 30 days, no risk. Yeah, there we go. These are my Shady Rays. There we go. Hey, exclusive for you as I'm reading this for our listeners. Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the season. Go to shadyrays.com. Use that code CHGO. 50% off 2 or more pairs of polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself. The shades rated 5 stars by over 250,000 people. Thank you to our friends. ShadyRays.com.
I want to give a shout out to the CHGO diehards. If you're a diehard, at CHGO we have podcasts and live shows on every team every day, and we're building this thing up. I mean, it's kind of crazy. We've had 2 Hall of Famers now here in studio. Marion Hossa was our first one. Now we have the great Richard Dent, and that is possible because of the support of our community. So if you want to get in on that, go to allchgo.com, become a CHGO diehard. We've got dope merch for all the teams, including that QB slide shirt, which we're going to make sure that we give you a shirt. Make sure you get one. And
you're getting all the gear, Richard.
Right. You're getting free stuff, but also when you sign up for the CHGO diehard program, you also get a free shirt. And you get access to the members-only Discord, exclusive discounts to merch and events, including our upcoming CHGO Bears tailgates this fall. So go to allchgo.com and become a CHGO diehard today.
Do the Bears?
Hey, let me tell you, thank you for what you do. Getting messages, sending messages. Thanks for serving the people.
We appreciate it. We appreciate you being here. I was going to wrap up with, do the Bears have their quarterback?
Bears have their quarterback, but, one thing that he's a Georgia kid. I want to see this kid do well, but I have to look at where he came from. In Georgia, that's one part. In Ohio, that's another part. To me, I just haven't yet seen a quarterback that come out of Ohio State that did well in the game. That's just not to say that this. I hope this is their quarterback. To me, I think Phil needs to understand that. When you're dealing with coaches and people, you have to figure out, look, I got to get this job done. And with those other 10 guys, they will follow you. And, you know, and that's where the team goes. The team's going to follow the guy that's lead there. He's in a leading position. Most quarterback is, you know. In a defense, you know, you become that by what you do. In offense, it's somewhat a hand part, but still you become what you do. I think that, you know, we should keep him up under the quarterback. I'm sorry, keep him up under the center.
Okay.
Moving, because the kid moved well with his footwork. To me, he hasn't shown the footwork in shotgun. When he's in shotgun, you snap the ball, he sees something, he won't throw it, but then he don't get his feet there. So you got to get your feet there, and you got his footwork, faking handoff. And when you look at San Francisco, you look at the quarterback. He's a young kid, just come out, but yet he wasn't formed that way as that kid out of Iowa State, okay?
Okay.
But yet here, you know, you form in a way of let his legs, let his mind do whatever he wants to do, okay? But we really didn't start him that way, right? So, you know, the management, the offense has to me, I don't understand. You want to see him do what he does well while you drafted him. Now, if you're trying to make him to be something else, then that's where, you know, jumping in a shotgun when, you know, to me, it makes sense to run the ball. Why? Because you don't practice tackling.
Right.
Why I'm trying to throw the ball all over the place when you don't have live tackling? Every team has the same problem. When they tackle, they get hurt. Look, that's the game. The game is run the ball, pass the ball, maybe let the quarterback, then let him do his thing. When he does that, you cannot stop him from running. There's nothing you can do stopping this kid. This kid can take it from A to Z. But let's help him, coordinators. We look like we got a lot of players in here, so let's find out what we got. We need to stand on that offensive line and defensive line first of all before anybody else can do anything. Is start up front.
Well, I was going to say, we might have a quarterback. We don't have our Richard Dent. We don't have our Dan Hampton. We don't have our Steve McMichael yet.
Yeah, that's what you need.
Well,
you can give him something to do.
Yeah.
With something.
Win another Super Bowl.
Yeah, we're running out of time because we got a show behind us. But I've seen the super chats. Ronetta, this for $5. Ronetta, I miss you. Sackman, who do you think should get for defensive edge rusher, and what do you think about our squad? Do you like anybody there? Do you see anything in Dominic Robinson? Do you like, Travis Gibson? Can anybody
I don't see anything yet because I'm not really looking. Last year we got rid of a lot of folks. I understand that because you want to pile your money up and try to figure out what you got, okay? But to me, you know, like a guy told me, about pass rushing. He told me, look, if you want to learn how to rush the passer, come and see me before you go out there and fuck it up. That was Deacon Jones. And I was coming to get the 100%. I'm coming like, hey, Mr. Jones, hey, I'm the one to get the, you know, Mackey Award, the big award out of college, which is the Heisman Trophy Award.
Okay.
He's like, well, son, look here, you need to come up to my room and let me teach you how to rush this pass before you go out there and fuck it up.
Well, you definitely went up to Deacon's room.
No, didn't mean to say that, but that's how he put it. You know, so I'm just I'm sure he's up in heaven enjoying himself. But thank you guys again. And I think the Bears got something good there. Now, you know, I think the coach really was in a lot of the games. Guys was messaging, you know, working hard. I just believe that, you know, the team that run the ball gonna win this kind of football because they don't practice loading up and tackling. Why try to throw the ball everywhere when you can run the ball? Kids are not ready to be physical. Hand it off.
It might be what they do best. It's old school, but I'm enjoying it. Hey, Alan, I see you in the chat here. Dent, you are the man. Go coach at Chicago to the CHGO. Love listening to y'all. Cram must feel honored to be sitting with a legend like Dent. I do. So does Kevin. So does Lawrence. So do we all. And the last one here, the Bears Bastard, Fantastic name there, Bears Bastard. Super Chat 1999. What do you think about the new kickoff rule? All for player safety, but this is ridiculous between rough and passer calls, and now this. I fear for the game. Squib kicks incoming. Richard, has the game changed for the better or for
Give
worse?
them insurance. Look, it's a bad game. It's guys race cars. They 300 miles an hour around the track. You can't do that. I can't do that. That's why we enjoy watching that. It's like in football. You don't want to be out there facing me. I don't want to see you. But yet, that's part of the game. The game is violent. Give the guys insurance. They should have the right to live or to insure themselves somewhere. Why is that? This goes back to, I'm not going to say that word, but go ahead, sir, because we're on the end of this show.
Yeah, well, no, but I this is basically what I was saying. Like, oh, they've been trying to make football safe. It's like, look, let them sign a waiver. I agree. This is a dangerous sport, and put the insurance in that you're talking about.
Sure, man. You're going to live after football.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all I'm saying. You're going to live after football. Give them some insurance. They knew the helmets were bad back in the 70s. They never told anybody. They finally got in the locker room. Media got it, and that's why we're on this topic now. That's why.
Right. Enough with the fake caring about the players. Let's do something real.
It's all. Look, I got a son. Matter of fact, he's 6'5". He's 190. He's coming out of Stevenson High School. We decided to go to Miami of Ohio. And he could be a hell of a receiver there. He could be a hell of a tight end. He could be a hell of a lot of what. But I would like to say that I did something for the game before my kid had gotten there, or before your kid had gotten there, and that's the part of the game. The game is all of us, but yet it's all about giving back to the guys. And I like to see the players that's in the league today giving back to the kids that come. Because look, I was part of giving you the cash that you got today. What you're getting today, I'm a part of. Now, what are you going to be a part of in the next 20, 30 years? Yeah. That's the key.
You've got a great voice. You're one of the most respected, athletes ever come out of Chicago. We can't thank you enough for stopping by CHGO, and don't be a stranger.
Appreciate it. Richard. We'd love to come back. See you.
You're the best.
We're going to have some more messages coming down the road.
Yes, listen. It's a yearly thing. Dent's coming every year. That's what it's
every year. It's coming.
It's done and done.
It may be 2 or 3, but we're
absolutely. Your door's open. Thanks for watching, everybody. And don't forget later today, if you're in the live world, we have another show coming up at 3, which will break down what happened at OTAs. We'll see you next time.
Take care. Peace. Find somebody to love.
That was awesome,
dude.